Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason, if you're not familiar with us, and it's a beautiful spring day. The weather's turned off great, and it's time for us to get some more things planted. But I want to talk to you about why we plant the way we plant. I guess I should say it's really becoming a thing for us to eat seasonally. Okay, eat the vegetables that you can grow in season. For instance, like asparagus. Okay, asparagus is something that we don't have growing here, by the way. We want to grow it, but we're not going to dedicate a space to it here in our backyard because we just don't have that much space. If you're not familiar with us, then we only have this portion of the backyard here. Okay, I'm gonna swing around here and see that. That's all we use. We have a half-acre lot. We use the back half of our lot, so it's the backyard that we use for all of our food growing stuff. So we don't grow asparagus, but asparagus only grows, if you're not familiar with it, in the spring. It comes up and you harvest it, but it's harvested young and tender, and it only grows in the spring. It's the only time you see it available anywhere for like a few weeks into the early spring, and it's done, it's over. But it's seasonal. It has its purpose. We believe that God designed all these things for a purpose. In season, out of season, all these things, they have a purpose. So asparagus comes up in the spring, I believe, because it's a good detoxifier, and so it if you eat it, then it detoxifies your system from anything that was built up over the winter because you've been sitting inside. You hadn't been able to get out and sweat and get as much sun, not as much vitamin D in you, and so it has its purpose in the spring. That's why it comes up in the spring. That's why you can only find it in the spring, because it has its purpose there. So that's why we make sure we grow food in season, right? So like in the early spring and the cool spring, which is not as cool today, but which is great. But that's why we plant things appropriately, at least we try to. Like there's certain vegetables that grow better in the spring, in the middle of the summer, and then late summer into the fall. And we try to make sure we grow that food at that time. Also, it just seems to work better. It's more efficient, more productive to do things in that manner. Since we have so little space to use, we try to make sure we use that space efficiently, but also it's used efficiently when used in season. Hey kids, hey, would you stay in? Would you stay in? Oh, these feet are shook down. Maddie, what are you doing? Egg under you? Thank you, Maddie. And you know what? Oh, and there's another one. Got a few escape artists on me, don't I? What are you girls doing? Huh? Eggs also, by the way, are seasonal. Get a lot more of them in the spring and into the early summer than you do late in the year. So we use eggs more often right now. But we just try to eat that way. We're not perfect by no means. Goodness, I don't worry about calories and junk or whatever. We just try to eat real food. I mean, that's honest. I don't know how more honest you can get about it. We just believe that we're designed to eat the things that are growing at that particular time. I'm trying to get this cover off this green stalk though. It's getting warm. These things that are growing here don't need to be that warm. They're looking good though. Well, this is a Merlot Chinese cabbage right here. It looks really nice. It's a freckled romaine. It looks a lot better than it did last time I saw it. This is a little Jim butterhead lettuce on top. It's looking really good. Look at that. Some spinach on the bottom and some purple pak choi. Those are all looking great. We've got some kale and everything planted in here. Kale and some Swiss chard. I probably need to put that cover on this one now because it'll heat this up a little bit for the seeds to germinate, if they germinate at all. Really, we did get some really hard rain after we planted that one, so the rain could have washed it down. It's not typical too bad in a green stalk to wash it down, but they can. Just it's light dirt, so light dirt, small seeds. But over here we've been working on prepping our soil, prepping our beds a little bit, just for the season, for the growing season, trying to make things a little best as possible. So I used my flame weeder. I got it out the other day and just started burning up the weeds, kind of lining out this bed right here behind me. If you see, I'll get a little closer then so you can see it. Right down here, I don't know if you can see it in the sun or not, but you can see where I burned some of this stuff. Tried to create a nice line right here. We're gonna plant some peas right here. Let's see a little better right here maybe. It's worked out really well, I thought. Just trying to get rid of all the aggravating vegetation that can get in the way here. That bed there, we plant peas on it early, and then we plant some green beans on it later. And it tends to work pretty decent. The peas, again, are not easy to grow here because it can get too cold or too hot so quickly. But I think we might have a chance this year. And then this bed right here behind me, it's just where we have some apple trees at, but I'm trying to line it out too with a flame weeder. Now I'm not going to show you using that flame weeder because YouTube has some regulations, some stipulations that basically they flag anything that looks dangerous, and that's not dangerous, by the way, but it's live flame and burning stuff, so I'm not going to show you using that. But I will tell you, it's really good contraption, and you gotta be careful with it. It's just a hose. It's a kit. You can buy a kit, and we'll link one in the description. Heck, on Amazon, the one I bought maybe. But like, it's a hose, has a metal wand on the end of it, has a valve regulator that attaches to a basic propane tank, and comes with a striker, and you light the flame on the end of it, and it works really well to start fires, brush fires, burning brush, burning up weeds. It's a good way to kill weeds without chemicals. It's a little time consuming, but I do tend to enjoy using it. But you do have to be careful. You can set things on fire. 2 times now I've accidentally set some stuff on fire. Nothing that hurt, but the ornamental grass right there may have went up in flames last summer sometimes, accidentally. And then the other day when I was weeding, or I was using it around this fence, a little bit of flame caught some debris between my fence and my neighbor's fence, and it's a wide space there. And I was like, oh look, okay, a little flame lit, okay, it'll probably burn out, and it didn't burn out. So there's a circle, big circle there that where it may have caught fire for a little bit. I had to use the water hose. No biggie. It does work. Works really well. Now here you're gonna see where we're essentially doing a no-till method with this little bed of peas. I'd already used the weed burner to burn everything up, and then I took that hoe, just drug it across, made a good ridge there. I took some fertilizer, put it in there. It just trying to get a little in there. Peas don't need much fertilizer because they're already a nitrogen fixing plant, which means they can take nitrogen from the air around them and convert it into nitrogen in the soil. You got a couple packs of these peas. If you can hardly see them in the sun, it's really so bright. They're sugar magnolia tendril peas. Are purple. That's just a sugar snap pea. They're really good raw or in a salad. Dip them in some ranch if you want, whatever. But it's a good time of year to grow those. Angela loves them a lot. I love them pretty good. I hadn't had them enough. I'm not sure we've ever tried the purple ones. We've always had the green ones, but they're awesome. They grow in this trellis here, and they're just a really fun early season crop to grow. All right, there you see where I went and just planted. I planted a little over a pack full, and I try not to obsess. That's my goal this year, is try not to obsess over the seeds, making sure they're perfect, making sure everything's done exactly right, because that's an issue with me, obsessing too much, and it slows you down way too much and makes it not quite as enjoyable as it could be. That was much quicker than I normally get some seeds planted. And so just give them a couple inches apart, put them in there, get what you can in there, and don't worry about it. Take care of them and pray to God they grow right. Another thing I like to eat seasonally with is radishes. I got them in my pocket here, hang on. We got French breakfast radishes and these pink beauty radishes. Really good looking radishes. We really delicious. Radishes are super fast growing. Radishes don't really like heat. They'll grow fine in heat, but what they'll wind up doing is they'll get real bitter and kind of hot, spicy type thing, and they're just not as good to me now. They're going to have a little bite to them anyways, no matter what. I think the French breakfast radishes are pretty mild. The pink beauties may have a little bite to them, just a little, but they're good in salads. Add a little kick to a salad here and there, a little different flavor to it. Works really well. They're good to just snack on with some ranch dressing as well. But only when they're grown in the cooler weather. Grown in warmer weather, not so much. When I say cooler, I mean like below 80. Get to 85, you're gonna start messing with the flavor of the vegetable too much. But they're really good, and They grow in like less than a month. So it's a really good time of year to plant them. Really nice to have them when you have fresh lettuce too. So we got lettuce growing already. We got other greens growing already, and some spinach and whatnot. So have some radishes to throw in a salad with them. You can roast them as well. Angela's roasted them before. It's probably not my favorite way to eat them necessarily, but they do work. They do work like that. It's okay, but they really roasting radishes are more like a watermelon radish. It's a bigger radish that takes longer to grow. These are some you just throw in and pull out. Honestly, if you got a month or so to try to grow something before it's time for your summer stuff, hey, try it. They're really simple to grow. We're gonna put them in this 6x6 bed that we have. It's not a real deep bed. I probably should have built it deeper. Built it a handful of years ago. Probably should have built it deeper than I did, but it works okay. Just the way it is. We grow plenty of stuff over here. We put the winter squashes in here later in the year, and we put okra in here. We'll plant okra, and we'll put okra plants in here. That works really well. We didn't grow okra last year in here, but we have grown it here before. Probably going to do it again this year. It grows really well over here, but it works. This bed works really well to throw some really fast vegetables into. Like if I just wanted to throw some lettuce seeds in real fast to get some cut and come again baby greens, I could throw that in the other side here. 6 foot by 6 foot. It's nice. It's a short cedar bed, shallow cedar bed, but it works really good for fast vegetables in spring and fall. All right, so I got this spot prepped. I put some really base fertilizer that we use on everything in here. Gonna mix it in with this claw. This claw works really well for raised bed gardening. It can mix in your dirt real well and can mix in your fertilizers real well. Just gonna mix it in over here, and I'm not gonna. Because I'm planting probably a little less than half of this bed. It's a lot of. That's probably more radishes than we'll want or need or whatever. I probably won't even plant the whole thing in it. I'm just prepping a spot. Just prepping a spot, and we can throw stuff in it if we don't. Whatever we need. Just sometimes it's good just to prep your beds. Just go ahead and get them prepped, and you can decide later what you want to plant in there. Just get them done. Get the hard work done. And once you get the hard work done of prepping the bed, throwing seeds in is really simple, right? So just get the bed prepped. Do that first. Get it done. Don't sit around waiting, trying to figure out. Well, I don't know what I want to plant. Well, just figure it out. Get the bed done. Then you can throw it in where the heck you feel like planting. No big deal. Right? So, got it mixed in here. Got it ready to go. And all I'm going to do is really simply just make a ridge. Make a ridge. Make another ridge. Just a line. And you get a lot of radish seeds in these lines. So there's 3, 4. Just use your hand, right? Okay, I've got 8 rows. Got 8 rows there. I'm gonna probably just do 4 rows of each one, right? And radish seeds are so simple, so easy. I mean, you could scatter them if you wanted, just broad scattering, whatever. But they're big enough that you can just drop some in. You know, place them in where you want them. If you happen to get them a little too thick, then you can thin them out. You know, because they need a little space for the bulb with the root to grow. But you can thin them out if you need to. It's no big deal. For me, I'm always worried about wasting seeds. I don't really want to waste seeds, so I try to be more precise. But again, like I said earlier, I'm gonna do my best to not obsess over stuff so much. So by doing that, that means if you happen to drop more than one seed, get over it. Thin it out later, and you can get things done better that way, and not stress yourself out so much that way. And once you get the seeds put in there, slide that dirt back over just a little bit, not too deep. And I always like to pat it down for good dirt contact, kind of set the seed in there. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's just what I do. Seems to work. Radishes don't need to be too deep anyways. But this light potting mix that's in here, it's not going to be too bad at all. Works out really well. Do that, do that, do that. Oh, one more. Here it is. And just pat it in there. All right, that should do it. Again, we're eating seasonally. That's you growing seasons. Eat the vegetables you grow in those seasons. There's a purpose in it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.